Welcome to the girls. We're at Wilkes University, and I have Janine put to work trying to figure out an equation. And I think, did you get the right answer?
I think I got the right answer. I'm just working here. We're talking about inventors today, but it looks like in my equation with this beam that it's going to fail because this is 36,000 and this actually equals 38,000. How about that?
All right, well,
I'm a genius.
She's a freaking
I'm
genius.
a freaking genius.
We always say
we're actually going to meet a genius today, and he actually is our cousin, my cousin.
He is.
And he did this whole equation thing, right?
Exactly. So we're at Wilkes University in Pennsylvania.
Yes.
And every day, every one of us uses inventions. Mm-hmm. So we don't always know who invented it or how it was invented, but a lot of things are invented by everyday people for everyday reasons.
Yeah, did you ever think of, I wish this had a piece for that, or I wish this had a piece for that.
Yeah.
And why didn't I invent the shoelace? Darn it, people wear shoelaces, or the flip-flop, or, I don't know, the lip gloss or something.
Yeah,
maybe I need to invent something with our guest today. That's going to be my goal for this year. We're going to invent something. Maybe he'll let me invent something with him.
Well,
girl
if
related.
you're going to strike it rich, Janine, you better stick with your lottery tickets.
How about this invention?
That's a good one.
Now, normally we don't play the lottery, but I figured we'll get those tickets. And
well,
who invented this?
Eddie's dad, I think, invented them because
you're right.
Our guest, his dad, always sends us lottery tickets.
He does.
For every birthday, anniversary, every single occasion. He's so thoughtful. He sends them to everybody he knows. So he must send out like 10,000 of these a year.
Yes.
And I don't know that anybody ever really won anything really big, but
we're going to win today.
We have the scratch-offs.
We'll see if
so
we win.
I don't know. We have all kind of inventors. We have. Do you know who invented the cotton gin? Eli Whitney.
Eli Whitney.
And who invented the light bulb?
Edison.
Thomas Edison. All right. Do you know who invented the adjustable wheelchair?
I do.
And you're going to find out when we come back because we're going to meet Dr. Edward Bednarz. So stay with us. We have an exciting show for you. We're going to get to meet some of his students and see some of the other inventions.
All right. Check it out.
Welcome back to the girls. Today we are at Wilkes University in Pennsylvania, and it is my great honor to introduce our guest to you. This is Dr. Edward T. Bednarz III. Did I get it right?
You got
Everything's correct. Inventor extraordinaire. And you are going to show us some of the great things that you invented today. But first of all, let's step back to when you were a little kid.
Step back.
And you didn't start out as an inventor. You always had an inquisitive mind. So you were taking apart toasters and can openers and just about anything you could. What was so intriguing about all this to you? What started it?
Just always wanted to see how something worked. Luckily my parents didn't mind if I took apart a radio. I couldn't get it back together as a kid.
Oops. Exactly. So now you're married to
Yes.
Heather, your beautiful wife.
Yes.
And you have 2 children. Mm-hmm. And your son, Edward IV, of course, is also inquisitive. He was always with those Legos, like from the time that he could pick anything up. So is he going to follow in your footsteps, you think?
I think so, yeah.
Mm-hmm. He's a little Eddie, really he is.
Yeah.
We have the whole family involved in the creations, as you're going to learn later from some of the inventions that we had. But you're someone who has a very inquisitive mind. You've worked in the military as well. And so you want to explain one of the first inventions that you had here that you worked on for the military?
Yeah, so this one's a safety brace for a radar antenna. So you can picture a radar antenna like a big dump truck bed that goes up and down.
Okay.
So this clamps around and it keeps it from coming down so someone could safely work on the motor and it'll keep them safe. So this is not the actual invention.
The mold? Kind of like a mold?
It's more of a prototype. So this is made of a plastic, so it's called 3D printing. So this is a way that we could just, same way we could print paper, we could print something physically. So this is a great way we could test if something will fit before we actually go ahead and make it out of metal.
Now, what made you come up with this? Is it something that you were around the equipment and decided, or did they give you that assignment?
Yeah, so it was something while I was working for the government, and there was an unfortunate incident where someone was killed working on the equipment. So myself and a couple of my team members, we came up with a way to easily clamp it onto place, and we had to do the engineering and the calculations, and there's a lot of math before you can actually make something for military use. But then we got it patented, and now it's being used all through the military. So we're excited about it.
Saving
Right, so-
lives, really. I
right,
mean,
so when you
this
said
is a
about all-
safety.
It's a safety brace,
Okay.
yes.
All right, when you said about all the math and everything involved, so you don't actually just draw something up. There's so much math involved. Like, so what was the equation for this? In other words, like, how do you start out? Someone out there watching is just like, they have no idea, like I wouldn't have an idea.
So engineers use math as our tools, math, physics, calculus, so these are all our tools to determine whether something will break. So essentially we're calculating the stress on that.
Okay.
So the stress is the force distribution per area, and
I know this stuff too, as you can see.
so and there's many years of training. That's why it takes 4 years to get a bachelor's degree in engineering, because you have to learn step by step.
Okay,
So how do you actually design something like that?
Did you get a patent for this then?
Yes, yeah, that was
So
patented
that's
through the government.
for the government. So the patent, does the patent cover the formula, or does it cover the actual item,
It covers the invention.
the invention itself?
Yeah, you could patent something without even doing the calculations on it, actually. If you have an idea, so even someone without an engineering background, you could come up with a patent if you say, okay, I think this is a better way to...
Now this Eddie, this you did under your job with the government through the military. So when they're using these, it's not like you're getting like a percentage of that for this. But if you have an invention
Yes.
that it doesn't involve, it's just independent, you could actually make money on it, correct?
Yeah, so I guess later on we'll talk about the
Yay! You're
some
going
other
to see some of his
inventions I
other
have.
inventions that he's made.
But either way, even if you're employed by a company, or in my case, employed by the government, and the government paid for the patent and they own the rights to it, I'm still an inventor. So they
awesome.
they can't take that away from you. That's your intellectual property. My name's on the plaque. As the inventor.
Was this the first thing you've invented that was patented?
That was my
Okay.
very first patent. So
Here it is.
I was so happy when that came.
Yeah.
The
and
Eddie
safety
brace.
device.
Does it have a name? The safety brace.
Safety brace, yeah. Maybe we'll come up with a better name for it.
I think
He's
you
not in the
call it
marketing department. He's in the engineering, so we would have to come up
I'll
with
need-
that.
I'll need your-
You'll need our
The
knowledge.
girls help. I'll need
There
the
you
girls
go.
help.
Yeah, it should be called the braced ED. Brace.
Or braced.
Brace ED.
I like that.
Okay,
well,
so
there we
what's
go.
this?
There was that. I'm
Besides
going to get
being
it
like
back.
this cute
Copyright.
little, looks like a little wind chime to me.
So
Now,
the-
these are things you do in the classroom, right?
Yeah, so these were classroom projects invented by students. They have very brilliant creative minds, and it's so fun to watch what they could come up with. So this is all using the 3D printing technology that we have here at Wilkes. So this is
The Eiffel Tower.
the Eiffel Tower. It's just an example of how you could 3D print something, and
Of great engineering.
of great engineering. That's right. So the students came up with these different ways, and these are all 3D printed parts. So something that would be almost nearly impossible to make physically with traditional manufacturing methods, they could just use a printer that lays down plastic, and voila.
Yeah, so whoever invented the laser printer, of course, that enabled you to create all of these as well.
Right.
So one helps the other. It's like a chain link. Well,
So let's go back a little bit about your background, because as we said, you started working in the military, but then you came here to Wilkes, and you just got tenure, right?
I did, yeah, so I'm happy for that. I actually came to Wilkes 21 years ago as a freshman. I went to school here, I got my bachelor's, worked for the Army for 12 years, and now kind of came full circle, and I'm back at Wilkes University teaching, and
that?
I love it.
and you graduated from Bishop Hafey,
Bishop Hafey High School.
right, as the valedictorian of your class?
I think I was the highest male student. I think I got
Highest
B.
male
But he got
student.
perfect on his SATs. We know
Perfect
that.
SAT scores, and you
Little
got
bragging-
full
bragging
scholarship to
right.
Wilkes?
I did, yeah. So my mom and I were just talking the other day that I almost went to Lafayette and was accepted there, but then got the phone call that I was getting a scholarship from Wilkes because I won a math test and then
And
got
here
a
we are.
scholarship, and I'm happy I came here. I love it at Wilkes.
And now you're saving lives in the military. That's neat. So from this job, when you moved into the engineering department, I know that you have not only one patent here, but you have other patents with your students. We're going to meet them on the show
Yes,
today.
yeah.
And that's why we're here.
excited to
So how
talk
many
with them,
patents
too.
do you have altogether?
4 patents issued and 1 patent pending.
All right.
So
I
Patent
can't wait to
pending.
see what he invented with his students.
All right, guys, well, stay with us because when we come back, we're going to get to meet some of the students and we're going to see a few of the other inventions here. How about an adjustable wheelchair? Isn't that a great one? You'll get to see that too.
We're inventing things here at Wilkes University on the Girls. We're on location and we're really excited to be talking about some inventions that were made here in Pennsylvania by my cousin, I could say that right, Dr. Edward T. Bednarz III. I love saying your name, it's just so long.
Thank you.
And we have students on today because they helped you with some of these inventions, and we have Murph with us, right? So we're excited to talk to you about working with Eddie.
Yep.
How was he as a professor?
He was great.
Come on, was he?
He was great.
Yeah, that's right. And you actually went on and got a job in engineering already, right?
Correct, yes. Yes,
right,
I work
so
at Cornell Cooks in the Mountaintop.
Did pretty good, Ed. Did pretty
All
good.
right.
He was a great student
Very
and
good.
great engineer.
So what was it that you worked on with Dr. B?
We worked on an adjustable wheelchair. That was my senior project, and we moved forward with this as an invention. So,
No pun intended, moving forward. Where did the idea come from for an adjustable wheelchair? I mean, you know, the mother of necessity. I mean, out of necessity is the mother of invention, right? So who needed a wheelchair?
The idea came from my wife, Heather. It was all her idea. She works as an occupational therapist, and she saw a need to have variable adjustment within a wheelchair. They only come in discrete sizes, and she said that that would be beneficial for the patients and different facilities. So.
So
Describe the
adjustable
wheelchair.
width-wise.
Yeah.
so the wheelchair, we did a little research, and we found out that the basic sizes that we wanted to expand through was 14 inches to 22 inches. That would be both male and female waist that would grow
Okay.
as you gained weight. So that was the average range that we thought we could accommodate everybody's needs with.
So it starts from a child all the way up to an adult, so you don't have to go out and buy a new wheelchair. Is that what you're saying?
Correct, correct.
Oh my God, that is a fabulous invention. And looking at it, it seems to me that without even knowing that it's an adjustable wheelchair, you kept it within the same standard size, which, I mean, it's not clunky looking and whatever. So where did you start with this?
So, well, Heather came to us, I guess, as she would be the customer and we would have been in the business.
Okay.
So she came with the idea and we just ran with it. We went with it and started working on it as our senior project, and it just grew from there.
And how long did it take you?
It took us a year, roughly a year. We had it completed, and then we decided we were going to go as a group and move forward and obtain a patent.
So how many ups and downs were there?
Oh, very many, very many. Yeah.
Stumbling blocks.
Oh, the stress of school and trying to figure out what to do on the wheelchair itself. It was crazy. Many revisions done.
So now are these being used now, the wheelchairs?
Not currently.
Okay.
Not currently.
Yeah, we were fortunate to have the patent issued, so that was kind of major milestone, and now next step would be hopefully license it and sell it to a manufacturer to distribute our product. And
Make a little money.
yeah, that's,
Yeah, we got to make the money now.
Okay, so
right.
who owns the patent then? Would you own the patent?
we're all in partnership. It's myself, Heather, Murph, and three
Other students.
And how about your little son, Nicolo? He's probably the one that gave Heather the time to be able to sit there and think about it. She's rocking him and she's thinking, geez, you know, what could we use here?
Yeah, we'll give him credit too.
It's all in the family.
He'll be, I said here, during the break, I said he'll be in the marketing department, so then you'll have everyone in cahoots there. He can do all the marketing, the packaging, the branding, you know. Yeah, exactly. So the wheelchair itself, as we look at it, it adjusts, the legs adjust too, and it adjusts inward and outward.
It's so adjustable width-wise. It would start
Okay.
from the smallest to the largest and just expand
Okay.
horizontally.
And that might also be good too, not only if you're gaining weight, but if you're going down aisles in like the grocery store, or the smaller aisles of like a park or anywhere. I know with strollers, that should be your next invention.
That's right.
Now we move on to strollers. Don't take that at home. They're already working on it.
Well, let's just say that I was the first one with the strollers, because having you and Sammy as twins, they only had side-by-side strollers
Right.
at one time. So I could only go down certain aisles. And then someone did come up with the invention with the piggyback stroller. Mm-hmm. So it was a little bit slimmer.
But now
which
you can
was
do
great.
like different, like make them narrow, kind of,
So what's next on the docket for your invention? Did this stir you to start thinking of some things on your own?
Most definitely. I'm looking at a few things, a couple ideas like tables that I have that divide up, and you can fold up and move as well. That just you can take from a shelf into a table and just all in one.
Oh my gosh,
So-
so it's like all convertible furniture.
All convertible furniture.
And you work
Correct.
for a company right now where you're doing garage doors.
Garage doors, correct.
So your
Correct.
things are up and down all the time.
All the time.
but
I'm so excited when I hear former students coming up with ideas. They're, it's like my 24-year-old son right here.
Aw, isn't that nice? Well, you're just about old enough to have a 24-year-old son.
Oh!
No.
He doesn't look it though. He looks like he's still in college.
He still is in college. He'll always be in college.
Heather keeps him young.
Yeah, that's right.
So from here, I guess, what would your opinion be to maybe someone out there who's thinking of coming into school for an engineering degree, if you had any advice for them?
Keep your mind open and just go for it. Anything you can do, anything you can think of, you can do. It's just you got to take the time and put the effort forward. So.
All right. Use your imagination.
That's
and,
right.
Create, right? Work on that stroller. That's one of it.
You got it.
So you have one more student that's here with us today.
Yes.
We're actually in your lab, right? So if you look around, there's all kinds of different inventions going on here.
It's the chaos. So.
Yeah. Walking in here,
Inventing,
I
yeah.
felt like I was walking inside your mind because knowing you growing up, this is just how you have everything laid out. And
Yeah.
there's always something going on and something interesting. Thank you, Murph, for sharing all your experiences with us with the inventions with Dr. B. And now we're going to talk with one of your other students, and that is Autumn.
All right, we have another invention and another inventor now with us. As Mom said, we have Autumn here and another wheelchair, right?
Another wheelchair, yeah.
Heather, brilliant idea. Behind every invention is a woman.
That's
I see
right.
the
Agreed.
repetition of this. Agreed. Okay, so let's talk about it.
Okay, so this project is a pressure redistribution device. So essentially for targeting patients who have trouble moving themselves, who are especially elderly patients who can't physically adjust themselves as much, this senses areas of pressure if they're slumped over, and then uses a system of air bladders that will physically shift their center of gravity to prevent pressure ulcers from forming.
I love it. Why don't they put that in cars? You're driving along and you're like pressure on one side, pressure on the other.
On the way up
Would
here, my
elevate.
mom was complaining because she's like, your seats are too hard, which I've never heard before. They're leather seats. But anyway, here the seats are too hard because you're sitting in one position and what was it doing? Push on a nerve?
On my coccyx bones. But
Yeah.
you're talking about patients. Now, patients who have had strokes or whatever, they
Yes.
really can't. They're very much immobilized. So picture yourself sitting in a chair for maybe 3 or 4 hours that they get them out of bed to sit.
Exactly.
And what you're saying is so true because you could only go over and adjust a patient so many times, but if this chair senses that, and what does it do? It just elevates them
Yes.
and relieves the pressure point.
It physically shifts them using air bladders.
So it's like the air mattress they use on a bed?
Kind of, yes.
That's awesome. So how did you come up with that idea now?
It's actually mostly Heather again.
Again with Heather.
She doesn't want to be on camera today, but I'm putting her picture all over this. It's going to be like the Heather show.
Well, Heather works in occupational therapy, right?
Yes.
Okay, so now how did you go from there?
So essentially, we've just kind of spitballed a lot of ideas, and originally we weren't even targeting the pressure distribution system. We just knew we wanted something medical, and it turned into this. And after a lot of work and a lot of conversations, especially late night conversations, since our schedules were all over the place.
Drinking.
No. This
Water.
actually came out to be something that we were all very interested in. And I personally love the medical field, so this idea really struck home with me. My mom's a nurse, so I was so excited to always have that constant talking with her.
And you're helping millions of
Exactly.
people with this. Millions
Hopefully,
and
yes.
millions of people.
So Autumn, I had one more question about how does the chair know when to move?
So essentially, it uses load sensors to sense the amount of pressure in that area, and then it has an electrical system that actually uses like an Arduino Uno, which is a microprocessor that will actually use an interval of time. So if it's this much pressure over this much interval of time based on the patient's weight, it'll announce that as like a danger zone because there's a certain limit for when pressure ulcers can form, and then it'll use that timing to actually indicate the chair to shift.
And how is it ran, like by energy, or is it battery operated? How does the chair?
We use an external battery for
Okay.
it, yes.
Okay. Well, so did you have to learn like the medical part of it first before you went into the
Yes,
pressure
there's
part?
a lot of research involved, reading a lot of different stories about the different stages of pressure ulcers as well. So I really got to dive in depth about the medical aspect behind it. And then we had great electrical engineers on our team who were able to do all the programming for it.
And so what was your part in this, Dr. B?
Kind of coordinating all the pieces.
Go
yeah,
team, go!
Go team, go.
So we had Heather coming in with her medical experience, and then we had Autumn and another mechanical engineer with their experience, and the electrical engineer, so just how all the pieces will move and finish up within the state of the 2 semesters before senior projects was up. And yeah, we're so excited. And we actually made it a pressure distribution system when we filed for the patent. It originally started out as a wheelchair, but with maybe in the future it could be applied to other.
Exactly. Just
Like what about a
system.
bed
The
even?
mattress,
I mean,
the mattress,
you be it
the
in a
car,
bed or
you
a
could do it-
sofa, a
How about you-
recliner.
Yes.
If you get surgery and you need to sit for a while and you can't get up, sometimes you're sitting for days. That's a great.
Even people sitting at their desks, inventors, if you're sitting there, you sometimes get sort of like that too. So did you involve your mom in all of this? Because she's a
Not
nurse?
really. I did talk to her about just different ideas and things that she had, but she was more so just really excited and rooting for us in the background.
She was a good cheerleader.
Yes,
like we have a
she
lot of
was.
cheerleaders here today.
Nice. Well, congratulations. That's
Thank
really
you.
exciting, and I think it'll be put to good use once you get your patent's already done. So now we're looking to license it, correct?
Now's the waiting game.
Okay.
We filed for the patent,
And now we wait.
It's patent pending. So
All right, so anyone out there watching, if you have a medical company and you're looking for some geniuses to create for you, they already have 2 great things for you. So where can they get in touch with you?
they can get in touch with me through Wilkes. I could provide my contact info, and
Okay.
yeah.
We have information up on the screen. You could contact us as well. And do you have something in the workings now? You have something else that you're keeping under wraps?
Not currently. The baby's kind of keeping us busy, but
Baby's keeping you. That baby's going to make you invent something else
maybe
too. I'm sure.
we'll have
Another
a good
baby.
invention.
That's the next
That'll be
step.
another.
That'll be another
yeah.
And again, who gets the credit? Heather.
Yeah.
So what's next for you?
I'm currently working, and then in my spare time, I try to tinker more stuff with the Arduino because I really like that it has so many different options you could do, from a pressure redistribution system to drones and different toy marketing as well.
Drone's a big one.
Yes.
For us, you can create something again, or invent something for our TV station.
Of course.
Exactly.
Drones are really
Yes.
important right now. I mean, there's a lot of licensing that goes on
Yeah.
with it too, and permits, but that's a really good one.
Okay, so we have Dr. B and you have your 2 former students. Is that your patent group? Do you have a name?
And Heather.
Do you have a name for it?
And Heather, yeah.
And Heather.
The
What's the name
geniuses.
for the group?
I don't know.
The freaking geniuses.
There you go.
There you go.
like
So we
it.
can name it the geniuses.
Thank you for joining us, and it was nice. It's a beautiful campus. If you've never been to Wilkes University, it really is. When we were walking through, I believe it was Franklin Street, we were walking through, and all the kids were. It's a nice day here, and they were laying out, hanging out, just chilling, because it's probably finals week for you guys.
Yes.
It's a beautiful campus. If you ever get an opportunity to visit it, or if you're involved in the engineering department, really check it out, right? Check out Wilkes, right?
Yes, for sure.
Well, thank you for watching. We hope that you enjoyed the show. We hope that maybe we've inspired you. And we're going to give you a little look into what we have here in northeastern and central Pennsylvania with an inventor who's going to go down in history right in our own backyard. I hope you enjoyed the show. We'll see you next time.